Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Today we will be doing whips. Now, whips are works in progress. I know it's been a while since I've been on. It's been a really extremely busy month for me. I put my disclaimers down in the description. So the first book that we're working out of is Good Old Kirby Fragile World. While I was working on this, you see what happened. The page kind of came out of the book a little bit. That's okay. So what happened was I ran out of this color when I was coloring it. These are black-footed ferrets. So I used a velour pastel for this and a black king art pencil for this. This darker green is a king art pencil, and this I think is one of my king arts as well. And the rocks are, I think, what I call mineral orange, which is like a brownish orange. Only thing is that I ran out. My Prismacolor is so unbelievably little. You guys don't even understand how little this thing was. And I'm going to show you how little it got. So this is the pencil that triggered me to buy some stuff from Blick. So here it is. This is PC 1033. This is how tiny it is. So what happened is I went online and placed a online order for Blix, and they came in today. So I am super ecstatic. This is so as you guys can see, I bought a bunch of stuff. So this is a bag of stuff, 3 Copic refills, which I needed. E33, which is sand, E08, which is brown, and E19, which is redwood. I always get my earth tones before I get any other tone because they're like kind of like what I consider my skin tones for markers. And then, as you guys can see, I got this is the Prismacolors. No, this is part of the problem when you get pencils. So you see, I got 2 Prismacolors because every time I run out of one, I always buy 2 of everything or try to buy 2 of everything if I can. And then I got 2 more of the Orchid for the Prismacolor. So that's what I got in my Prismacolors. So the rest are Holbeins. Now these have gone up in price. I mean, they were only about, I think, what were they last month? Last time I looked, they were $240. Now they're like about $340 a piece. So this is burnt sienna, and these are all colors I needed. So when I buy my pencils, I buy 2 of everything. Summer green. If you guys are wondering what these colors are. Hi, Miss Michelle. I don't know if they're talking about what I'm reading. Yeah, so these are about $340 a piece. So this would have came up, even though I didn't buy a lot. This is evergreen with the poly. So just so you guys get an understanding, just like it came up to about $60 with shipping and tax. This order, and I didn't even buy that much. And this is a blue. Yeah, this is porcelain blue. Now, if you guys know anything about me, you guys do know that I use my Holbeins and my Prismas excessively. And I looked, before I even ordered this stuff, I looked all over my house. I looked in my duplicates for things, like because I have my duplicates in several places, but I looked at everything. So what I do when I place a Blick order, before I even place a Blick order, is I have a list here. And so during the month, you guys probably don't see it, but you guys see how much is in there. This is what I want. I put what I need on the top of my list first, and then what is the most urgent on top, and then what's on the bottom is stuff that can wait. Like maybe I want some new colors in my Copics, but that can wait. You know what I mean? I have a pretty good diverse list of colors. So, but I've also been working almost every single day. Last weekend I worked on Saturday, so that just gives you some idea of how it is. And I forgot to take a sharpener out with me. Hold on. Forgot to bring a sharpener out when we color. So, oh, it's okay. I had to get a sharpener. I forgot to bring my sharpener out. So this color is mineral orange, and I was saying I had run out. This is how tiny it is. So it gets really hard to color it when it's this tiny. Also gets hard to sharpen them. It's really hard. As you guys can see how hard it is to color with these little pencils. When this is this little, it's not even worth it to get an extender. Like if it was twice half the size. So now we go back to this. We are coloring in Fragile World right now. This is one that I did with, I had been doing this one for, oh, lovely. Well, we need the ads actually. And you know why. Ads are not bad. They're just part of who we are as YouTubers. And as you guys probably have guessed, because I'm such a hard presser that sometimes my pencil markers go through the other page. So what we did here is like, because this came loose, as you guys can obviously see in the book. I don't know why that happened, but it does happen. These are black-footed ferrets. Someone asked me, what do I do with these, with my pencils when they get that thin? I throw them out because not really worth it for me to keep pencils. But I found out something while I was living here, that I can get the Prismacolors now at places like Michael's, you know, like all the hobby stores that I can get them, like Joann's. Well, now that Joann's is closed and went out of business, it's going out of business. I kind of feel sad because I kind of like Joann's. Oh, and I gotta tell you a funny little story that happened yesterday. I'm coming home from work, so I see someone with their dog, so I decide to pet the dog. The dog gets all excited, and you know what the dog does? And I'm wearing my dress clothes, obviously. The dog pees on my dress, on my pants. I'm not kidding you. Oh my God. I was like, okay. So as soon as I got home, I took off my pants, made a load of dress clothes because, you know, it's not like worth it for me just to do one thing. So I washed that so I wouldn't have that smell all over my thing. Oh, yeah. But I felt so bad for the woman because the woman said she was so sorry. I could tell that the woman was positively mortified that her dog did that. See, when you do this, when the book goes like this, you can actually do some really fun things. Michelle, I could tell the woman was mortified that her dog did that. And go, it's okay, but really, I was not too pleased. So then I did a load of dress clothes when I came home yesterday because see, now I need to do this, see? Then we do our AFNet. Yeah, my book came apart, so I have two coloring heavens. I have dark fairy tales too. I'm actually coloring something in dark fairy tales too. Yeah, I suddenly have a Kirby fixation. Michelle. Oh, and those who saw the bunny on Instagram, the bunny is actually hanging up on my wall until Mermay, until next month probably. The reason why the bunny is there until Mermaid is because, you know, I know I have not gotten the mermaid issue yet of my Color in Heaven subscription, but I will. So I was really happy. I did pay off 2 credit cards, finally. One small one, one more of the small ones. So I mean, I still have credit cards to go, so I'm hoping maybe by the end of the year I can pay off another one. I've been working a lot. It's our busy season. So last week I got called into work on a Saturday, so I did do that. It was actually more profitable for me not to do a stream and actually work. You know what I mean? There are real life things that happen, and we have real life responsibilities. Tomorrow, my brother's coming over with the girls again, so I'm really happy that they're coming over because we miss him. Sometimes life is more about things. What am I reading right now? I am reading Heavenly Bodies by Emmanuel Eru. That's really good for me to be reading that book because that book is giving me Throne of Glass vibes. It's a pick for a romantasy this month. And what's funny is I read Quicksilver, which is the Wednesday fantasy pick. I already read that book, so I finished that book. And that book is very big. It's very long. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. It is really long. And what's funny is the Romantasy Club picked it for the May read. So I've already read my thing. And also I am reading in the Irvine Spectrum Center, which is close to where I live a little bit. The book that the horror club is reading there is Dorian Gray. I'm reading that again. I don't remember reading it. I've never read it. It's one of those classics of literature. Either you read it or you don't, or you see a movie. And most people see the movie with Ben Barnes, which I tell you, when Ben Barnes was a very young man, oh my God, he was so handsome. As Dorian Gray. So I am reading that. I'm almost done with that book, but that book is a really tricky book to read because it's about vanity, it's about ageism, the fear of death. It's about a lot of things, It's also about society and class a little bit. And how each class has their own definitions. See, when I was originally doing this picture, I actually had to look up what these black-footed ferrets look like online. So this book, I try to make them closer to what the animals look like. I think this is one of my top 15 to finish. Yes, we did finish that realistic portrait. So I have to look the animals up. I know, right? It's like... But the thing I like about the back, if you go to the back, there's a table of contents in the back, and it tells you what each of the animals is like. Now, as you guys can tell, I have done some work in this book. Some of these, like this one here, I found this one kind of difficult. I actually used my Holbeins on this one. Yeah, believe it or not, I used my Holbeins and my Black Widows on this one. Just because my Black Widows had a little bit... Oh, yeah, they are numbered right here if you don't cover them up. The problem is when I ran out of this color, Michelle, it is so... I recently I found out a few months ago that I have to go to either Michael's or Hobby Lobby or whatever craft store, and they will be selling Prismas. It's like the only art pencil that they sell. The other pencils they sell in pens. Not like when I go into a Blix. See, that's one thing I miss about New York compared to here in California. Like when I lived in New York, it was just so simple to hop on a train, go to a Blix, and get the supplies I needed. Here it's a little bit more difficult because the nearest Blix is in Fullerton, which is like I think a 2-3 hour drive from here. But the problem is I don't drive, so to me it's like I have to order some certain things and certain supplies, like my Copic marker refills. I have to order that from Blix. The Holbeins I have to order. So it's not like I can order, like I can just hop on a train like I did in New York and just get what I need. Plus, now that everything has gone up, the Holbeins are now $3.41 a piece. Do you know, on Blix? And I did shop around, and that was the cheapest price for them, even at Jerry's Art Room. Yeah, there's Jerry's Art Room. Now, someone said I could go to Culp Thames, but Culp Thames is a pricey. And some of you may notice that I'm not moving around as much. My mother got another tripod. It's a metal tripod. Let me show you. My mother had a picture of it here, somewhere on the messages. This is what the tripod looks like. It's a metal one. That's the tripod that we're using. We're not using our normal black one. I'm not too sure how to use it just yet. But so far, I haven't knocked into it, and it seems a lot. What I'm liking about this tripod and the other thing I'm trying to do is use up my Castle Art pencils. Ivy Joe. Yes, dogs need to pee. Oh no. You see already? Look how much it already took up. I think it ate some of my pencil. These sharpeners have a tendency to eat your pencil, so hence why I did it at 4.2. This is a color I don't stock up on very often. Should have bought 3. Yes, Ivy Joe needed to pee. I think it's important to color what you enjoy, too. Like, I really enjoyed this book a lot more than I thought I would. This will probably be one of the top 15. I'm now down to 14. Remember, we finished a book last month, so that was the realistic portraits one that we finished. So I'm hoping at some point I can start finishing some coloring books and I'll have more room on my shelves. What's happening right now with me is I've gotten back into reading a lot thanks to the book clubs. Oh, God. You know what that is about? That's her trying to get your attention, probably. She probably wants your attention and your affection. Little dogs tend to have what's called an they want your affection and they want your attention. So my brother's dog is very what do we call him? My brother's dog has what I like to call I term him a Velcro dog. Stays by your side. Although when it is time for me and my mother to cook meals and we're cooking in the kitchen and he's not in the kitchen, they need constant love and affection. I know. Is she a Velcro dog? A Velcro dog means that like constantly attached to you. Then she's a Velcro dog. This is how much like I love these colors and it just is popping. You know what I mean? This has actually been one of my. I will say that I really enjoy coloring with these. See, look already. And that's because the sharpener ate some of it. You see how it is? This is what a full-size Prisma looks like. I'll tell you, there's a lot of things in there. So, I'm going to be sad after tax season is over because this means I'm not working as much and I'm not getting paid as much. So I feel sad about that in a way. But there is the possibility that I could possibly pay off one of my cards before the end of the year. So then that would leave me with only so many bills per month. And, the whole object of my life right now is to finish paying off my credit card debt because I really don't want to go into my 60s with any debt. I also would like to try and start saving up some money for when I'm old. The other possibility too is I want to, within the next 2-3 years, finish paying off my credit card debt and then maybe saving up some money, possibly opening up my own IRA. So that way I can put some money away for retirement. That's like one of my goals, to finish paying off my credit card. And I don't think that's a bad idea. Plus, I would like to do that, but I don't know if it's possible with how much I owe. So I'm trying to cut my bill little by little every month. The thing is to cut it. And I use both my tax refunds to pay down some of my cards. It helped lower one of the bills significantly. Look at that. That came out nice. I actually like it. But when you actually look at the picture, you see, I like this thing. These are called, what are they called? Black-footed ferrets. I love Kirby's. I think this is my favorite Kirby book. I did get the Dark Fairy Tales, so I will show you what I've been working on in that one. So that one is done, but that's not the next one we're gonna do, actually. I did get Dark Fairy Tales, actually, if anybody's curious. So this is what I've been working on in Dark Fairy Tales. This is a newer one. I actually been working on this one too. I haven't done much. As you guys probably have guessed, you can tell this is going to be a long-term WIP. So this is the mineral orange. So I needed this pencil for that too. So eventually I'll get to this too. Ooh, Jessica. So then we do our spring one. So I'm going to put this one into the finished pile, which I should have a finished pile for the picture we worked on today. So I have a book which is keeping me busy and entertained. So I try to do WIPs. This is probably what you guys are used to seeing from me. So the next one we have is Spring 25. This is the Color in Heaven one with many artists. Like, I'm looking forward to the next month's one because I know what it is. It's a mermaid special. So I started this one in pencil. This is an image by Grazia Salvo. I think it's called Floral Companions, which has a nice little bunny. Because I started working on it. It has some little orange ones in here. So you guys know this, right? And then someone said to me, why are you not doing the grayscale and marker with some of these images? Some of these images are grayscale, but here's what happens with I find this with the newer coloring books, with the newer Color in Heavens, and some of the newer paper that I'm getting from the color. Now, someone would say, well, then you shouldn't be using that stuff. But I go, well, here's the problem with that. When you do that, you kind of are making it into something that it shouldn't be. But I was thinking of making her a blonde. Then I was thinking of making her like a dirty blonde. And this is called, we'll make her a redhead. Yes, I remember Color Me a Pink Community. I haven't heard from her in a while. Now, there's a lot of people that are leaving the community, and I feel very sad about that. So this is yellow ochre. Now, I'm thinking, I don't like this color too much, so. She's Bellatini Art now. Huh. Everybody changes their name. Now, do you get what did I get instead of my color? No, I didn't buy the water leaf, which was the color I should have bought. That's okay, we can. I was thinking red. And I'm thinking red would be a good color for her. Yeah, we're gonna do red instead. I'm gonna make her a redhead. Now this is a grayscale. I think we're red works better, and this is carmine. I actually think this works better, actually, in red. Now, when you do a grayscale with pencil, it is a totally different vibe to do it. So, you know that I have Color in Heaven, so I love this magazine so much. Now, this one was not part of the subscription. This one I actually had to pay. But here's the thing. I fell in love with the images in this book. When I saw a flip through of this, I was like, I'm not going to get it. So I think it's really good. See, I love these colors in the Holbeins. And you know, here's what I like about the Holbeins is that they're thicker pencil, number one. Everything that you can do with a Prismacolor, you can do with these. And they don't give you the same wax buildup that a Prisma does. You know, when you layer with a Prisma, you get so much wax. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that Prismas, if you ever layered and you try layering and then sometimes you have to brush off that stuff, it can be very annoying. So keep that in mind when you color with them, you know. So we'll probably do this one, and then I have a lot of WIPs this month, I noticed. So this month I noticed I'm doing different things. So we're doing pretty well. So where are we, 34? You know, I like to color a lot of things that other people don't like to color. But, you know, I wanted to finish that Kirby picture so you guys understand that I love doing Kirby work if it's something I can color easily. Like when I start to do the C stuff, that's when I'm going to have a problem with it, I think, because that was going to require a lot of blue pencils, a lot of blue pastels. So I don't know if I have enough the thing to do that. Some people will say, well, use your cheap Crayolas, but when I use the Crayolas, it's usually because my nieces are over, and they're 3 and 5. They don't need to be using really expensive pencils. So what happens is I have a whole pencil case just for them. So, you know, I use that just for them because when they come over, you know, and I put some of my King Arts now in there because I'm like, you know, I don't really like my King Art pencils. They kind of are really hard to use on paper. I don't know why they're hard to use on every kind of paper recently. Doesn't matter. And surprisingly, the book that they do well on is the Johanna Basford books. that you see how different when the pencil gets little in the hole behind compared to the Prismacolor. Look at this. This is about almost the same size, right? But look, you could still, even though the hole behind is little, I can still use it. So keep that in mind. I am nervous about the tariffs. I am really nervous about that. So to me, it's important that we do some WIPs every once in a while. I'll do that, but that means I don't really have a set book. That just meant that I wanted to do some of these pictures on them. And I kind of feel bad because I haven't been doing as much this month, but you guys understand, for me, doing a stream wasn't as, for me, doing streams is like kind of taking, there's other things that have taken a backseat, like my reading. I really enjoy reading fiction books. So the problem is now that I'm buying them again, now some will say, well, why don't you put them on your Kindle? Now, here's the problem with that. Number one, when I went to compare the price of a hardcover book to a Kindle, it is $1 less sometimes the Kindle than the hardcover or the paperback. To me, I'm like, I might as well just get the paperback. Besides, they look really good on my shelf. Number one. The other thing that's happening is I'm finding that my shelf space is at a premium. So one of the things I did this at the beginning of this, well, at the end of last month and at the beginning of this month, what I did was I originally bought a little tin, a small one from Dollar Tree for like $5. Yes, there are Dollar Trees here where. So what I did was I put all my, I was going to put all my Christmas and my Halloween. I found out I needed another tin actually, so I had to buy 2 tins. One, I actually bought another tin, so in total I bought 2 tins in total. And then what happened was I put my Christmas books in one tin, and then I put my Halloween books in another. Because this is grayscale, so that freed up some room for me. Didn't fill up, it actually freed up some room, but as soon as I did that, I realized I had a lot more fiction books, actually, yes, reading fiction books. So I was like, ah. And then when I went to Barnes and Noble on the last fantasy thing, I ended up buying a lot of books. And then, I bought a lot of fiction books. And then I also upgraded my membership. So, yeah, the membership I had ended. So I was like, kind of like, this wasn't a purposeful thing that it ended. It just, I guess, a year can go very quickly when you have membership issues. So I really don't have to do much work on this page because most of the shading is done for me. So this one is what I call a grayscale image, and we're doing this with pencils. But mind you, I'm doing this with what you would call a more expensive version. Where am I? So we're doing this like this. My mother's out gardening. I see her gardening. I'm probably gonna have to do either today or tomorrow grocery. I have to do some cleaning too today because my brother's coming over tomorrow. with the kids. So, there's going to be massive, massive amounts of cleaning and dusting today. So, also got to change things. Hello, and this is, what is this color? Oh, this is from Finding the Lost Girl pencils. Sometimes when I hold this kind of reminds me of a Holbein. The only thing about Finding the Lost Girl pencils is right now they're out of stock on Amazon, which I'm kind of sad about. So, things like this. I will say the thing about the Color in Heaven magazines that I enjoy is that they give you a lot of bang. Plus, you get exposed to artists that you normally wouldn't know about. Like people like, who was it, Hollow Moon Art, Daenerys Guerrero. Actually, their names got out there. They were out there already, but they didn't. Daenerys Guerrero, actually, I will say this about her work. It is beautiful, her work, but here's the thing you gotta remember. I don't think she was as well known until she did that Color in Heaven issue. And then she did that one image that everybody was coloring, and I was like, and I was looking at some of the other stuff that she had done in that magazine, and I thought it was really nice, but her work changed over the years too. These are the Finding the Lost Girl pencils. These really are some of my favorites. I was thinking of purple or pink or like a reddish orange, but because I already have it as red, I'm thinking purple. There's a nice purple. Because there was a little red thing there. Yeah, I was thinking nice, bright colors to make it pop. Michelle, you're right. Bright colors always work well. Someone asked me, what are the best colors for who has the best set for skin tones? To me, the best skin tones, really, if you're looking for pencils, is the Prismacolors, the Black Widows are my favorite to use for skin tones. I mean, you can use other stuff, but that's what I prefer for skin tones. But Holbein has some nice colors in there for skin tones too. more their pastel colors, but Blix has an okay selection. I'm thinking pink, and I'm gonna do the bunny like a little bit like a beigeish brown. The pink. This is Finding the Lost Girl. Like they say, draw your imagination. So, yes, I like these colors. They're like nice, kind of like summery spring or Easter colors. I was thinking blue for the other eyes. The books I'm reading are Heavenly Bodies by Emmanuel Leroux. That's really good. It's giving me Throne of Glass vibes. I enjoy that. Then I'm reading Picture or Portrait of Dorian Gray, which I really like the book. I'm actually surprised I like the book. Dark blue. Well, I wouldn't say dark blue. I would say like a bright blue. I think it's going to be like a teal blue. Then maybe we'll do this in Orchard, the flowers. I want the colors to be nice and bright. And we're going to do some white too. What is my favorite white pencil? The Prisma White and the Buff Titanium White from Luminance. So I'm thinking Orchard for these flowers. So Michelle, what is your favorite art? Who do you like coloring the most? Kirby, Johanna. You know, we all like certain things. So thinking Orchard. Let me do the Prismacolor white. So you're on the Canuco Booster kick, huh? You know who I like a lot, and I do a lot of pictures by her, but I never seem to complete them in time to put them in there. Is who do I like a lot? I'll tell you who I like a lot. I like Erie, actually. I especially like a new one. I started it, but I haven't finished a picture yet in it. So Then we do that. I love Kaneko. I like Grazia Savo. Just, I like my Demeter Victoria. I like, I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular with people is I don't like Jade Summer's more newer, the cutesier stuff, but I like her old stuff. I like what I call classic, classic Jade Summer better. Her more realistic drawings. See, all the shading is done for you, but sometimes I just like to put the shading in there. Just to give this tone and depth a little bit. Idea was for me to get my tones done. I like eerie stuff too. I was really happy when my brother and my sister-in-law came back from Japan and got me the new eerie book because the imported stuff has gone way up. So now, if you do skin tones a lot, my recommendation is if you use certain colors for skin tones, I recommend when you start running out of things, always get like 2 or 3 of those colors in stock because then you're not like stuck in the middle of a project like I was, and then you're like, I can't finish it. And this is Deco Peach. Oh, that meant to be green. It's meant to be green. Make it look a little better. Sometimes I just do something, see an area where I can improve the color or the skin tone. So that's that one. That's like a teal color. Nectar. The thing with the Prismas I find is that I go through them so quickly. But I love the Prismas because you can do so much with them. You can layer with them. You can blend with them. Now, here's the thing about them. Some people have said that they break easily, but this depends on how you use them. They break on me a lot too, so that's one of the reasons I go through them so fast. So, in the beginning, I went through these really fast. I mean, I still go through them, but I've learned some tricks over the years about them. The other thing you have to remember is that they're called very thin pencils, so that's the other thing people forget about these. My peach, and this is a brand new my peach pencil. So I use this. kind of like a blending agent. So you see the color comes in, like now it's all blended in. As it starts to come up and look smoother. It doesn't really show on the camera as much. I must say that this tripod is actually working a lot better than the other one. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, Mom got the tripod I showed you earlier, which I'm using actually in this stream. Because what happens with the one, because the one I think is, this one is thicker. The old one is like, I think this one is a more expensive model of the one that I had. Or at least very similar. You only need to get a red pencil. This is called Carmine. Sometimes this happens with the pencil. Don't know why, but it does happen sometimes when you're doing the blending of the skin, as we call it. These pencils really do work very well. I came home yesterday a little bit early and I thought I would have energy to do a stream, but I did not. So now we're going to do the bunny. The bunny's going to require, I'm not really sure what color I should make the bunny, but I'm thinking a beige bunny. I'm looking for the beige. I'm waiting to see, the other thing is that I'm waiting on that's not bad actually, that bunny actually, this is not a bad beige actually. This is a Prismacolor beige. This is called peach beige. You know, animals have started to become less scary to me the more I've colored them. So I think the bunnies actually come down really cute, actually. This one, Orchard. Orchard is the next color. It's little flowers. So then you make this one. This will be the last color. Then I think we're going to be done after we're done with this picture. So we got 2 WIPs done. And yes, this does count as a grayscale image. There are grayscale images, but I've shown you that you can use pencil in grayscale. You don't have to use marker entirely so. But then again, this paper is more suited to that. Like when I do Jade Summer or that was not meant to happen. And nestle with the mouse. But when I use things like the Demeter Victoria books or the Jade Summer, because of the way that paper is, it'll eat up my pencils. Like this paper doesn't eat up my pencils nearly as bad as some of the other books does. And you know, the company that I'm gonna miss doing coloring books is Color Ya. I'm gonna miss their books. You know, I recently saw a picture that somebody did from the Cute Gnomes book by Avery Brown. This was with the Mala Dark, and I'm like, oh, this person did a really nice job of making the duck really. I think the duck was the thing that stood out the most to me on that page. So. So that's that one. So then I did this one, which is the Finding the Lost Girl pencil. So, oh yeah, that works actually. Now this one very much is coming out looking like a pastel one to me. It has like nice. I know. I feel bad that they're going out of business, but. So that means their books will no longer be available. So, I mean, after the stock is, once their stock is depleted, it's gone. There's no more getting them. Like when I'm finished my Sally Berry 300 Mandalas book, I'm not keeping that, even though it's no longer in print. I'm just not keeping it because it's just so big and massive. Don't get me wrong, I like the mandalas, but I don't love them enough to keep them. I know some people are huge fans of them, but mandalas have their place. And no, I did not watch the latest episode of Daredevil. I will probably try and watch that probably next week sometime. kind of glad I have this weekend just to sit and relax. This is beautiful. So I like that. So we have finished the Grazia Salvo picture in spring 2025. So I'm very happy with the way this one came out. Actually, we need to fix some of the hair because some of the hair didn't go out as well as it should have. So we're gonna just fix that briefly. We're just gonna take back my Carmine pencil. See, this is the difference between the Holbeins. Even though they're little, you can still go in and use them. See, this is a difference between a thicker short pencil and a thin little pencil. This is so terribly little. You see the difference? I can still use this at this age. This one I cannot. I know, I feel that way too. That color, had some good books. So, and then they went out of business. So we did this one, and then we finished the one in Fragile World with the black-footed ferrets. So I thought that was really good. So I hope everybody has enjoyed this stream. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a happy, happy weekend. Bye.